Hey you all, it's Kenya Stump here with Root Rise Yoga. I thought today I would bring you some yoga using our chair, and this was inspired from some training I'm taking, Yoga for All training, and we're looking at different ways we can do sun salutes. And I just love the concept of saluting the sun, especially since today the rain has passed and the sun is out. And I thought, what a perfect time to maybe honor the sun, do some sun salutes, and explore some different options, variations in the chair. I know today I'm feeling very much kind of the chair. I'm recovering from a cold that you can hear, so let's acknowledge that. So I have a cold. I don't really want to get down on my mat, and honestly I don't really want to do a lot up and down standing mat. So the chair I thought was a good thing today to get in some yoga. We'll see. Like I said, we'll give some options, variations, see how it feels in your body, explore sensations, and find maybe what works or doesn't work for you. As always, you can follow along. Feel free just to sit and listen, and play this back or take pieces that you like during the day and incorporate that, or just sit and breathe as always, right? So we always can come back to our breath. So let's get started. I'm gonna go through our setup first in our chair. So I'm moving back to my chair, and I've got a lot of props with me today because I love my props in the chair. I'm a little bit vertically challenged, on the shorter side of things, and so a lot of chairs don't fit me very well, and I know some of you are in the same position, whether chairs are kind of designed for an average person, and how many of us are really average. I like to use a lot of props in my chair. I've got 2 blankets, 2 blocks, and a bolster. That's just to get started. We'll see what else we can use today. But let's come and get seated in our chair. I like to use a folded up blanket, kind of quarter fold at the back of my chair, just to give me a little didn't like the way my blanket was folded. So I've got a little quarter fold blanket there at the back of my chair, just so that when I sit, I'm a little bit on the edge of the blanket, so it allows my pelvis to be open and receptive to the breath. And also for me, I have a blanket under my feet. So, see, I have a quarter fold blanket. I'm putting that under my feet. And this allows me to have a comfortable position. My ankles, knees, hips, have my pelvis to be open. My feet are about hip distance apart. And just coming into the seat, moving a little bit of the flesh, just if you haven't touched your sit bones, kind of remind yourself those are my sit bones. And I like to wiggle around and really kind of feel those settle in. Shoulder blades up, down, and back. And again, just find a sitting position that works for you. Brings you joy, ease, and comfort as you're sitting. You may want to have a block behind you as well. That can be nice, but just think about what feels comfortable, joyous in your body today. And I like to do a sounding exhale. And, thinking about my yoga mentor says, exhale completely and the inhale will take care of itself. Sometimes I have to remind myself, reminding you. Sometimes that sounding exhale just reminds us. Exhale completely. You feel a little abdominal brightening, engagement here. And then we just step into our breath. Eyes open or closed, whatever you're feeling today. I'll be closing my eyes. And I'm going to place my right hand over my lower abdominals, left hand right here at my heart. And I'm just noticing, where do I feel movement? Where do we feel our breath? It's also a good time to check in. The bones behind your ears, think about those lifting. We're just stepping into our breath, not trying to really change it, control it, but just see, where is our breath today? As you find an inhale and exhale rhythm that feels like it's honoring where you are today, just visualize as you inhale the breath moving both down and up. And the exhale, brightening up of the lower abdominals on the exhale. You may also notice some pelvic floor engagement on the exhale. You may notice inhale may feel, more rooting and rising, especially as we check in and think about those bones behind the ear rising to help us find that kind of neutral alignment in our chair. Checking in to see, have you tilted forward, in this overly arched position, or have you collapsed back as we've been breathing? And just notice and know that you can come back to this neutral position as your body changes and as we move. So on that, let's open our eyes if your eyes are closed and just drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Half circle around, left ear to left shoulder. Half circle around. And notice any sticky spots or spots that just feel like they need a little, what I call ruching, a little bit of micro movement that feels maybe particularly good for you today. We all might have that sweet spot that we like. And play with this movement. And when you're ready, head comes to center and then eyes come to look forward. We'll take our right arm up, left arm, can grab the chair, lay on a blanket if you have it, and then we'll just side stretch over to the left. And play with your head movement. Maybe your head wants to look up to the ceiling, maybe it's forward, maybe it's down. So experiment that left and right sit bones remain rooted into the chair. We'll inhale, come to center, exhale, hand floats back down to the chair, left hand rises on an inhale, right hand is placed on the chair as we side stretch over to the right. Experimenting with that head position. Maybe this side is different than the other side. Hands are alive and active, fingers spread, sit bones are rooting, your feet are rooting. Sometimes, your feet like to get in the game here and maybe they floated up, but our toes are spread, feet are rooted, base of the big toe, little toe, heel, sit bones grounded, breathing. Inhale, come back to center. Hands drop. And now we'll just do some playful circling. Hip circles in our chair. You may want to get the shoulders involved. Experiment with some movement that feels appropriate, honoring where you want to be today. And we'll reverse that. And then we'll come to center. We'll bring our hands to prayer position. Check in with our feet and our sit bones, neutral spine. On an inhale, our arms will come up, float up to shoulder height, palms forward, and then as they come up, palms will meet. Either they can meet or you can keep a cactus or a V. I know for myself, my shoulders tend to like a V or a cactus, so, but feel free, find a position that is good for you. And we're in our kind of raised arm mountain pose. Breathing here, checking in with those shoulders. And as we inhale, we're going to actually think about rooting through our sit bones as if we have a dinosaur tail, and that dinosaur tail is going to swing back. On the exhale, we're going to brighten up and engage our abdominals as we hinge forward for a forward fold. You can bring your legs wide, forward folding down. Hands can come to fingertips on your blanket. Sit bones stay engaged. And actually, I tend to like my blocks here. So arms come up, thinking about that dinosaur tail. My sacrum kind of swoops back. Abdominals engage as I hinge forward, And then I actually am using my blocks today so that I can really root down through my base of my thumb, index finger, and pinky, and it remains where my sit bones can still be grounded on the chair. And then I'll continue to fold forward. And then we'll rise up for a half fold. Hands come to thighs in a half fold. Hands comes to hips as we rise back up. If you have your bolster, now's a good time to get your bolster. We're going to take our bolster onto our thighs, and we're going to play with Cobra variations. So we did our fold forward, came up. We're going to do a few cat-cows here. So using our bolster with our hands, we do cow, and then round like a scared cat. Cow, cat. We'll come back to neutral. Spread our fingers. I'm going to give you a few options here, depending on what feels good for your shoulders. You can also have your elbows in tight to your side, right underneath your shoulders, or you can do this variation where the fingertips come together, elbows rotate out. And so just play with which arm position is feeling appropriate for your body today. I tend to like this one today. And so for our Cobra, we're going to really root down through our fingers, base of the thumb, index finger, pinky. And I'm going to press into my bolster and actually think about isometrically sliding that bolster back. As I rise up through my hips, cranium rises, chest opens slightly, shoulders slide down and back. And we're in this back bend that really originates from rising up through our hips. Eyes float up. We'll exhale and come back to neutral. And now we'll move into our down dog. So we just, if you don't like the bolster, you can also play with doing that variation, hands on your thighs, leaning forward, hands on thighs, and doing your Cobra pose in that position. So I encourage you to play with that. So now let's think about down dog. We're going to extend our legs out. Mine are still on my blanket. And I'm going to energetically push forward and up. So my legs are extended out, my toes are rooting. I'm energetically imagining a floor or wall in front of me, palms kind of facing down. Ears are lined up with my arms. Shoulder blades are moving down and back as I almost imagine a string from the top of my head extending my cervical spine up. And as I'm rooting down through my feet, I'm really imagining this energy moving down through my sit bones and encouraging my sit bones to expand back and out into the chair. Abdominals are engaged and light and bright. And as we breathe, let's breathe and think about breathing into our low ribs, mid ribs, upper ribs and chest. Do a sounding breath as those sit bones rise up towards the back of the chair, energetically speaking. And we'll come out of that. Hands come to heart center. Slide our ankles under our knees. And we'll take our blocks back to center. I'm going to put them on the lowest setting between my feet. My feet are a little wider than my hips right now. Arms come up, palm center, then rise up. Inhale, exhale. Hinge forward as we fold forward. Hands come to blocks. Tip of the head drops. You may even want to play now with a little isometric pressure of your elbows on the insides of your thighs. As we're folding forward. And we'll do a little bit of a twist here. We'll take our palm to the center of the block. Right palm center of the block as we twist and unfold to the left. If your shoulder's not really feeling this kind of unfolding today, you can place your hand on your hip and unfold to the left. Or another option is hand on kind of the base of your sacrum and play with your neck. Maybe your eyes want to be at the floor or in front of you or up to the ceiling. Engage those abdominals as you're twisting. And then exhale down. Left hand comes to center. Find the hand position that works for you today. As we unfold, press down into the block with the left hand. Engage abdominals. Unfold to the right. Remembering to breathe. And we'll come back to center. Half fold up to our knees. Palms in prayer position. And then hands come to pelvis as we rise up. Little sounding exhale. Hands come to prayer position. And we're just going to check in with our breath. See how we're feeling today. What does that look like? How has the movements we've experimented with changed the way we're feeling? And before we end today's practice, we'll just do some chair Savasana today. So I'm going to move my blocks. I'm actually going to use my bolster. Place my feet on my bolster. I'm going to lean back against the back of my chair. My feet are extended. And I'm actually going to think about seeing how this will feel. Use my blanket kind of as a neck support. And I like to grab it here at my chest, heart level. You know, it gives me something to hold on to as I lean back and support my neck with this blanket roll in my chair. Just breathing into this support. With every exhale, just maybe think about releasing into the support of the chair, the blanket, the bolster. And we'll come out of that chair Savasana. Feel free to stay there as long as you feel comfortable, or as long as you want, scanning your body to see how this practice may have changed your energy or how you're feeling. And maybe it didn't change it at all, and that's perfectly fine too. If anything, this practice gives you some options to consider, to think about, to incorporate, to play with, to experiment with throughout your day, as a lot of us are doing a lot more sitting, and for whatever reason there could be. So, and again, I'm Kenya Stump, just wanted to bring you some sun salutes. Think about 2 ways you can take this. You could speed it up or slow it down. Today was pretty slow, but you can do it more in a flow using your props. I encourage you to take this, make it your own, experiment with it, see how it changes day to day, as it might change on any given day. We're not the same day to day, week to week, year to year, hour to hour, minute to minute. And so you never know what might pop up, what you might need to adjust. As we honor and listen to maybe the sensations we're experiencing on any given day. I thank you for joining me today. As always, if you have questions or comments, feel free to email me at kenya@rootriseyoga.com or leave a comment in the video below. Thank you for being with me today, you all. Really appreciate it. Namaste, and we'll see you next time.